Welcome back to another video, everyone, and as you can tell from the title, we will still be talking about Demon Souls. As you can see from the last Demon Souls video I posted, I did beat the game. I figured it would be good to go through and rank them from easiest to hardest for those who have not played the game or is interested in playing the game. I know you watched the videos, you've seen me die multiple times, but I did play this game multiple times and beat it multiple times, so I figured I'd go through and give my list. Brief disclaimer, I am not counting Vanguard or that douchebag of a dragon that always hits me with the fire, because they are bosses, but they're not true bosses as in going through the fog gates type boss, so they're not going to be included. Also, again, remember this is my personal list for you diehard fans who might not agree with it. I took into consideration every single encounter of my playthroughs and how it turned out with those bosses, and that's how I gave them the ranking. I also kind of excluded the first true playthrough because, you know, you're underpowered, you have to go through leveling up, and at the first encounter with a boss being new, as long as you did not look up YouTube and see what to do, every single boss in this game is going to be challenging on your first playthrough, so I didn't really count that. I'm ranking them by me now being more so familiar with this game, used to it, beating it multiple playthroughs, and as I continue to play the game, which bosses gives me the biggest challenge. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Number 17, the Human Doodoo. This guy, he's really pathetic, and I should have probably said this earlier, so spoilers. I'm gonna keep saying that until you click off the video. So if you don't care, this is actually the final boss in the game, and as you can see, it's very disappointing how easy he is. He flops around, it's hard for him to hit you, and even if he does hit you, it barely does any damage. You have enough time to heal because he staggers, so very disappointing for an in-game boss. He is a flopping piece of doo-doo, and that's why he's number 17. Number 16, Tamper, Tantrum, Lychee. This guy just flails around like a 2-year-old in ShopRite. As you can see, he did it right now. He's super predictable, easy to beat. Fire destroys him. Actually, I have a clip to where when I faced him, I think within like 5 seconds, he died. And I'll actually put that clip at the end of this, but he's super easy, not a challenge. He's only over the last boss because he can actually hit you and do a little bit of damage. But I'm gonna put that clip now, and then we'll go on to the next boss. Number 15, the Demonic Porcupine. This boss isn't bad either. It's just the spears is really annoying. They launch them from far if you're not hiding behind a pillar, and as you can see, when they get close, they still try to stab you with them. But again, not another bad boss. Firestorm, as you can see, obliterates them. They're really weak by fire, so you just get up close, use Firestorm, and as long as you're protected by the tower, because they will come to you, it makes it super easy. You know, it is the first boss, but again, it's a very easy one. Number 14, that one kid in your class that refused to shower. This is another boss, not bad, especially for being in the Valley of Defilement. I mean, this here is what makes it possibly the worst, is because you get stuck in here and he's shooting those swarms. It can get bad and ugly really quick and you can die, but if you're paying much attention to your surroundings and where you are, something I didn't do in this playthrough, it's easy to avoid that, and you get up in close and personal to him and you just use Firestorm. 2 Firestorm shots, he's done. Maybe, you know, you need a sword attack or 2, but again, another boss that's really not that bad. Number 13, Lickitungue's Uncle from Hell. This dude is so easy. His windup, as you can see, is super slow for him to land a hit, which is easy to dodge and stay out the way. The belly is where the knife is at, is one of his weak spots, where, you know, you hit it long enough and then he ends up kneeling or falling to the ground, to where you can hit the real weak spot, which is the bird on his head, for some tremendous damage. I would say stay more close range with him, because if you're far, that's where he really uses his tongue to try to hit you. But since his wind up is so slow and it's so easy to stay so close to him and telegraph his attacks and gets him to fall to do the maximum damage to him, he's an extremely easy boss. The only reason why he's higher than the others is because his damage output is better than theirs. If he hits you, it is going to hurt. You might also get one-shotted, which is why he's high up. But yeah, another easy boss. Number 12, my revenge for Crocodile Dundee. Another quick and easy boss fight, not hard. You just dodge these crystals, you know, hit these guys with the storm blade, whatever the hell it's called. After you kill all of them, you know, like again, you see it dodging. After you kill all of them, the big boss comes out, which is just a dodging his crystals, hiding behind rocks. Once they're, you know, all gone, you just keep hitting him and he's dead. A quick, easy boss fight. Number 11, the Blind Dingbat. This boss fight is actually extremely easy if you have the Thieves Ring, which they make it super easy to find. He basically goes off of your location, and without the Thieves Ring, the slightest sound draws him to you, and he does a lot of damage, which is why he's raised higher on the list than others. But when you get the Thieves Ring, as you can see in this playthrough, you don't even have to try to be quiet, or you could just sneak up on him. And whether you're using, you know, magic or a sword, you can just knock out damage and have enough time to get away, because he has no fucking idea what's going on, which makes him extremely easy. Number 10, Big for Nothing. I call him that because, as you can see, this is the most lackluster and anticlimactic battle there is. You shoot him twice in his arms and he just goes down for the count, and just a couple chin taps and he's dead, which makes him a super easy lackluster boss. Only reason why he's higher than others is because sometimes it can kind of be difficult to see where you should hide, and even if you know the areas you should hide in, it's really easy for you to slip up and make a small mistake for him to one-shot you and kill you, which can make it extremely annoying, you know, going through this fight. But the actual fight itself, for the damage output, he's a quick and easy and useless boss. Number 9, Witch Bitch. This boss fight, this is where it starts getting to where it can sometimes actually be a challenge from 9 and on. The fight itself in particular is not really much of a challenge. It's just the problem, as you can like see, that these green circles here, you get stuck in one of those and you can't see, you don't see where they are. You don't know, like they show you briefly, but you have to kind of remember the locations, which is almost impossible with so much going on. So you have to try to avoid the invisible green magic spells, which if you get stuck in it, the multiple clones of herself can shoot you and take damage. So you're trying to avoid those. You got these worshippers in the middle of the way also trying to hit you. You gotta avoid the clones. So there's just really a lot going on. But if you stay calm, cool, and collected, she's easy to take damage from. And you can also, if you're not going for the trophy, you can just knock out her clones to where there's only her left, and then you could just wreck her, just give her all the damage until your stamina runs out. So it's not that bad of an easy fight. It's not that bad of a fight, but it is more challenging than the previous ones. Number 8, the parent who summons their child to do their bidding. The reason why I call it that, because if you know anything about this game, the old monk does not actually fight. He summons a human player. So this is technically a PvP match in order to do the boss fight for him. This fight can be hit or miss, to be honest, and this really goes down. This is probably the main fight in here that's really circumstantial. This fight depends on who you fight against. This specific fight, and I'm not going to show you this, but I don't know if you've seen the actual video of this fight, which I recommend you to watch. I fought this guy for 20 fucking minutes of he and I going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for me to eventually fucking die. The most frustrating match probably for me because it took the longest of him and I just dodging it. I don't even want to relive it. That was the most frustrating. But then the next fucking match, this guy, I like beat him with minimum effort, so it really ranges and it varies. But it's so high on the list because it's kind of a hit or miss for this fight, but it could be really challenging. Number 7, my sister-in-law's legit worst nightmare. This fight, it's not really too challenging. The reason why it's high up on the list because he does this thing where he shoots this web at you, and the web slows you down to where you can't roll, and then he tends to shoot fireballs right after that, which if you get hit with a decent amount of those fireballs, you are going to die. And he does a good job of at least spacing the floor because he spits this oil on the ground, which he then sets on fire, which forces you to run all the way back to the beginning of the fight, and then that's when he shoots the web and the fireballs there. So he keeps you really well spaced from him in order to do his most damage. And like I said, if you get caught in that web and those fireballs, it's a good chance you're going to die, which is why Armored Spider, or my sister-in-law's worst nightmare, is so high up on this list. Number 6, Child Estrella and her aggressive babysitter. Originally I had them number 1 on this list, I won't lie, because this douchebag here specifically, he just one-shotted me so many times. When I got his health low, he would parry me and my health can be full, and he would just hit one shot, blow, and it was extremely annoying. Down during this predicament, magic barely helped, and it was a bad fight until I realized to just keep applying that pressure and don't give him a chance to parry, and that's when I had to move him up on the list. But it's still a very challenging boss fight just from him alone. Number 5, a big asshole. We're getting into the heavy hitters of this list, as you've seen from my videos, and you're probably surprised he's raised this high, which was due to my own stupidity of the game. But after multiple playthroughs, Tower Knight is easier versus the other 4 that's coming, but still a heavy hitter. Multiple moves that can all one-shot you. Takes a while to get him down to actually do any real serious damage. So it's definitely a force to be reckoned with, not one to take lightly. This guy is actually like a beast of a boss. I'm not to let you know how serious the top 5 is. If I have nothing really bad to say. I mean his windup's kind of slow, easy to dodge. Not that one specifically, but you have to kind of really watch for some of his moves. You can telegraph them. But yeah, not that bad of a boss either. The weakest of the top 5. Number 4, our boy Flamey. This is probably the first boss we actually nicknamed. Flamey's actually he's just really aggressive. He's like an ADHD 2-year-old or a dog. More bark, not as much bite. I mean, it's just when he hits hard. So if you get hit once, it's going to take a lot of damage, as you can see there. And he has a quick follow-up, which could end you fast. Unlike Tower Knight, where if you survive his attack, it's a good chance you can get out of there and heal. Flame Lurker, it makes you want to be quick to dodge, and Flamey, sorry. Flamey wants to make you quick to dodge, and if you don't have any stamina when he does that, you basically know the end is there. You're watching your demise. But hits like a truck, super aggressive, probably one of the most aggressive bosses in the game, which is another reason why he's top 4. But there's 3 that hits just as hard and might be even more aggressive. Number 3, Angry Grandpa. This fight is definitely top 3 in the game, no matter who you are or where you put it. So many moves like this, the Soul Sucker, to where he can almost one-shot you with that. He actually decreases you a level in doing so. He puts his sword in the ground and causes a whirlwind, which if you get caught into it, it's a one-shot. All his moves are damaging. He has extreme pressure, but he's number 3 because he's extremely telegraphed, and you can easily tell what he's about to do to avoid it. So another really good strong boss fight, but not specifically number 1. Number 2, Sus Name, and he's probably mad I called him that because as you can see, he's whooping my ass right now. He applies so much pressure. You can have Bure, I think his name, as you can see here, to help you, but he can even kill Bure easily, and his moves just do so much damage. He's quick to attack you. His weapon has reach. He just pierced my boy right here and just twirled him away. Like, he's extremely aggressive, extremely challenging, and probably one of the best and most challenging boss fights. Number 1, the Badass Twins. This fight is probably the worst. It's, as you can see, he can knock you off the bridge. He lunges at you. He's kind of very unpredictable, and halfway through killing one, they send in another, which first time that can be extremely shocking. On top of that, the AI, they're just so unpredictable. Sometimes they hover around, they fly off in a distance, they come out of nowhere. There's not a real pattern to learn, which makes them extremely challenging, and this makes for my hardest boss fight even to this day in Demon Souls. Let me know what you think down in the comments.